we go. I was like talking to no one but Dupree. Let me turn this down a smidgen. Hello everyone, it's Wednesday. It's the last Wednesday, or the fourth Wednesday of the month.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me. That's because I didn't unmute myself for you, but I did for chat. My bad.
I figured I didn't want to interrupt.
What were you interrupting? Silence on your end.
It's okay. As long as they can hear you, that's all that matters.
I believe they can hear me. I mean, according to my info, they can
Your
hear
info.
me.
That is good.
Who knows? All right, guys. Hello, episode 10. Right? Is this 10? I keep forgetting.
I believe so, because I'm pretty sure
10.
the one that you posted on our last MDZ, that it is 9. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, this is 10. I labeled it correctly. I had to go check. But yeah, hello everyone.
I remember
Episode
seeing
10.
the little thumbnail image for the post that you made on episode 9, and I liked it a lot. It was pretty cool.
That's the thumbnail I use for all of them, just because I think it's a really cool generic podcast thumbnail. And I was like, yeah, I wish I could make it a different color, but like that's like a pre-made thumbnail that's like I'm able to use. But anyway, it's cool even though it's blue. I wanted it to be like green or purple, but oh well, it's fine. But the point is, guys, we're on episode 10. Hello, we've done it. We've made it to double digits. I'm so proud of us.
We're almost a teenager.
Woo! But yeah, so we're a little bit behind the rest of the universe, but we're finally gonna talk about the last 3 episodes of Spy Family Season 1.
Yes.
And for anyone who has watched Spy Family, you will know that the last episode of Season 1 just feels like any other episode, because, well, it kind of is.
Yeah. I was watching them and I was like waiting for a build-up or something. I'm like, then it ended and I'm like, oh, it's one of those. Well, I'm like, all right, I wasn't prepared for that, but cool. I'll wait for season 2.
Right, and I believe, if I am correct, we're getting season 2 just this fall. So we don't have to wait too long for it. We only have to wait through the summer anime season, which is really not too bad of a wait, all things considered.
What's considered fall? Like what month?
I believe fall animes start in October.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it really isn't when you think about, like, for example, Jujutsu Kaisen, which ended spring of 2021, and we're not getting season 2 until, I don't know if we're getting it winter season or spring season of 2023, but we're getting it in 2023. If it's winter season, it'll start in January. If it's spring season, it'll start in like March or April usually, I think, is when spring season starts.
That's still a ways away.
Yeah, so
like
us waiting till October for season 2 of Spy Family is not bad.
No. It's kind of funny, like, when you say January or March, and I'm thinking, like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, that's just a few months away, and I'm like, no, wait, we're only in August. We're coming up on August. But with the way the months are going this year, I feel like January will be tomorrow.
It's right around the corner. You better start Christmas shopping, guys.
I know, right? Oh, man. It's coming.
It's pretty crazy already. Like, August is, it's like 2/3 of the year. We're like, it's pretty wild.
Yeah. But, so leader, what is up? The Spy X Family, though, it's kind of one of those things. I wasn't prepared for it to be a half season, but I guess I should have known with it only being 12 episodes. And it also kind of sucked that they took so long to get those last 3 episodes converted over to the English.
That was really weird that we had to wait so long for the dubs on those, because the other episodes we only had to wait an extra week.
A week. Yeah, it was 1 week.
We were only a week behind.
It was 1 week for every episode, and then once they hit episode 10, they had the first 9 were released 1 week after, but 10, 11, and 12 were all done. They were all done 2 weeks after. Potentially, I think 10 might have been 3, and then 11 and 12 were 2 weeks apart. But it was a really long time.
Yeah, it was pretty wild for the dub. So I actually finished in Japanese, and then I rewatched them in the dub later because I was tired of waiting. But for
I thought
anyone
about doing
who
that.
is,
I checked it, and then I was like, no, just wait.
you're like, it's fine. Nope, I had no patience. But I originally started it in Japanese, so
yeah.
I think converted over to English when you were like, actually, the dub's pretty good. And I was like, all right, I'll check it out. Okay. And then it turns out the guy who plays Twilight is the same guy who plays Aizawa in the My Hero Academia dub,
Okay.
and I was like, oh, I like him. Yeah.
Yeah. And typically, like, I think it was like a good balance for me because having that one in the dub, it made it really easy to be able to watch it while I was working.
Right,
and
yeah.
because then I don't have to like fully like read subtitles. But the subtitle ones, a lot of times I typically like the voice acting a lot better because they just have so much more emotion in their voices.
It's kind of
and everything
wild.
than
Yeah.
English.
I think it's just something about their languages in general that just seem more, I don't know. I'm not dogging on dubs at all. People, I love a lot of dub actors, and there are some really incredible dubs out there, like top notch, amazing. And I'm actually gonna say Spy Family is a really good dub. Like, the dub for this one is excellent. The cast is really good, and the directing has been really fantastic on it. I'm gonna put it in probably at least in my top 10 as far as dubs are concerned. Like, it's a really good one.
Yeah, prior to like the stuff that you've said, I just watched like the normal stuff like Naruto, DBZ, Inuyasha, and I watched all that in the dub, and it was all really good and I liked it. I think my first anime that I watched that was sub was Attack on Titan, and that was kind of like, it was kind of weird for me to watch it in a different language. I was like, do I want to read? Do I not want to read? Because I think the only other thing I'd ever done in a different language prior to that was a movie, and it was the one, I think it was with Mel Gibson, Passion of the Christ.
Yeah.
That one I was actually really good, which was kind of weird because I'm not really super into religion or anything. But I actually like that movie a lot, and having to read the whole thing in sub, I was like, how did I make it through that? That's like everything that I'm not typically into. And
That's
then
so funny.
Attack on Titan was great, and I want to finish that, but like you said, we don't know if it's actually done.
Yeah,
and that was the one reason I was going to actually get into it, because I was like, it's done, I could just
You're
watch
like,
it and
it's
finish.
done.
And I'm like, oh.
No.
Maybe not.
it's not actually done yet. No, slow down.
Yeah. I was like, maybe I'll hold off on that one. But then again, I guess like everything that we've been watching lately is like first season, 2-season thing. So it's like, if I do it and then it doesn't, and like it's not done, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm waiting for new seasons on a lot of things now.
I mean, that's a big part of being like a consistent anime watcher of like new, like if you're like keeping up with anything new, you have to play the wait game.
Yeah.
That's just even not new.
Aside from waiting, it's also the nervous part of it. If you really, really get hooked, what if they don't renew it? Then you're really gonna be upset.
Yep, I've been there, done that. Have had
Could you
stuff like that.
Like, imagine if they did MVZ and they only did the first 2 seasons, and they didn't do season 3.
That would be the worst. That would be the literal worst. Like, no.
That would be so hard. Oh man, like, oh jeez.
I'm so glad I watched that when I did, because it literally had just finished like the month before I started watching it, and I was like, oh, this just came out. Go me. I don't have to wait for any of it.
Now that I'm like back from vacation and all that, I'll get back into watching like Untamed and getting that. I think I'm probably gonna watch like an episode of that and an episode of the anime each day, because I was gonna just like canceled the subscription for the anime, but I forgot and it rebuilds. So I'm like, well, I got another month.
Well, I
so
might as well watch it again.
Yeah,
Speaking of
it
watching it again, and since you have another month of a subscription to that channel, I'll have to send you a link. There's something called Modatsushi Q, like the letter Q. It's a chibi series. They're like really short episodes. They're like
do they have the subbed version or like subtitle?
Yeah, it's subtitled.
Okay.
I'll have to send you the playlist that I use, but it's really fun, and they're just like little in between things.
Yeah, because I saw like a little chibi thing on there when I was looking randomly one day.
Yes.
And I like pulled one up, and they're like 5 minutes long, but it wasn't subtitled. I'm like, oh, I can't watch that.
Okay, there is a subtitled one because I've seen it.
Okay.
It's official, and I will send you the link to that. And I want to know what your thoughts are on it because it's so fun. Like I said, the episodes are like 5 minutes. You can watch the whole thing.
I was gonna
like
check it
hour.
out, and then it wasn't subbed, and I was like, well, that's a bummer. I want to watch it.
All right, I'll send you the link to that because it's a fun time. It's a party. But yeah,
that'd be a good one.
So
but yeah, I'm gonna watch those, and then I got the book, which I got 20 pages into, and that is a huge accomplishment for me because I've literally never made it like in a normal book like that like reads like that.
Like
I've
novel?
never read. Yeah, a novel. They're books. I mean, that's crazy. I've never read more than like I'd say a page and a half in a novel like that. Like never more than that. Like my reading was stopped in like 6th grade with like picture books that had like 5 words at the bottom.
Right. You're like, no more.
That's the extent of my reading, and then video games, obviously. But
you have to read a lot in some of those. So I mean, when you count the reading you've done in like, especially like in older JRPGs that don't have any, voice acting in it.
If you count Final Fantasy VII as a book, then I've read that like 15 times. I've gone through that game a lot.
There you go.
So, I mean, there's things like that. Final Fantasy VIII, I've played that multiple times. But yeah, I made it 20 pages, and like I was telling you before, the only reason I stopped at 20 was because work things came up, and it took me away from it. I didn't want to stop. I had planned on reading for 2.5 hours, and at the rate I was going in the 20 minutes, I would have easily made 2 hours and still probably been upset that I had to stop. So,
like, no!
Yeah, so I don't think it'll be a problem for me to actually read the book, so we'll have lots to talk about as I keep going. I'm hoping that since it's been like a week, that I didn't really once I like read a page, it'll kind of like refresh my memory and bring it all back. Because I know when I didn't read the Demon Slayer manga for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks while I was watching MDZ, the second I went back and I read like 2 pages and I read like the previous page, it like refreshed my memory.
You're like,
of everything.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
I was like, yeah, okay, I know exactly where it is, and so I was all good. So I'm hoping that the same thing will happen. If for some reason it doesn't, and it was just too long of a gap and everything, all the craziness, I'll just restart from the beginning.
Darn.
It's not like I was too far away. And I'm sure as I'm reading like the pages, I'll probably start skimming and jumping because I'm like, oh no, I remember. Okay, I don't need to reread that. We're like, oh no, I don't need to do that. So, but I really enjoyed the 20 pages though. It was really good.
Nice.
The background and descriptions and context and like you had suggested, I'm really glad that I had watched first.
Yeah, when I sat down and started reading it the first time, I was like, yeah, I'm really glad I watched this first. I just feel like it really, really helps with visualizing and like remembering who everyone is, and like it just it really helps me because like I said, I'm also a pretty slow novel reader, but the stuff that I read fastest is stuff that is in worlds that I'm already familiar with. So like these, I'm already familiar with all these characters and locations and whatnot, so I'm gonna be able to read it faster.
Since you watched the anime and the live action, do you ever like when you're reading, do you pick one or the other that you're like picturing in your mind?
So for me, it's the anime because I did that first.
Yeah.
The Danwa is like my solidified visual, which is not saying anything against the live action cast. I think it's really well cast. Everyone looks great. But just my brain is so anime media dominant, like, because animated media is my preferred media, I think my brain just automatically is like, the animated version. That's what we think of.
I've only watched the one episode, so I can't really like say for sure what it's going to gravitate towards. I think it's going to depend a lot on the acting and what kind of emotion those actors bring forward in the scenes, especially like the emotional scenes and the heavier scenes and stuff. If they do a really good job, then I think because like I have the ADHD and my brain races really bad, I might just simultaneously picture both of them
right?
side by side and they're just both going to play along at the same time. I might just end up doing that. But I don't know which one.
I will say there's a lot about the live action that I do really like, as far as like I feel like all the actors do a really good job. You know, it's funny when it's supposed to be, but it's really emotional and serious when it's supposed to be, and I feel like all the actors do a really good job portraying that emotion really well. And I think my only issue, which no one can fix, because this is just how it is, because it's real people, but like my only issue is the fact that like so many of the actors are just these skinny beanpole people. And it's like, that's fine, that's just who they are, there's nothing wrong with that. But like, because I watched the donghua, or the anime, first, I'm used to Natchan being like really tall and really broad in the shoulders, and like Wei Wuxian being significantly shorter, because when he comes back in Mojang Yu, they talk about how he's a lot shorter than Natchan. And you don't really get that in the live action, just because that's just again that's just how it is, and that's okay. Like, both of the actors are fantastic. I'm all about height difference. I think it's cute. I'm like, oh, he's so big and he's so not, even though he used to be, because like they used to be similar size. But when he came back, he's like, oh, I'm little now and you are ginormous.
You're very tall. And that'll be a little bit to get used to. If they're like, I'll probably just like pay attention to it now. I mean, maybe I would have noticed it because I was only one episode in. But yeah, there's always the different like sizes and height and different body builds. So if they're all just like you said, like skinny and same height,
a lot of them, a couple of them are really, really good as far as like visually. They're really, really similar to their character. For example, Hoi Song, the guy that with the fan all the time, that you were like, that we think might be a bad guy at the end because you find out he's behind a lot of all this stuff.
Yeah.
His actor is like equivocally really cute, just like his animated counterpart is. Like, he's small and adorable, and like he suits his character really well. The person who his character is quote unquote shorter in the anime than he seems, but in the live action he's significantly shorter, is Guan Yao, the actual villain. He seems a lot taller in the anime than he's actually supposed to be, but in the live action he's played by a really small dude. And so you're like, aha, the truth comes out, you're actually very small.
Like, we knew it.
But I mean, other than that, it's just because of the way that it's animated. Like, some of the characters just seem like fuller, and just the way like clothes are animated. For example, like the Gusu people all wear super flowy stuff. In the live action, a couple of them wear stuff that is a little bit more form-fitting, as far as it's just the costume choice, and the costumes are still really, really gorgeous. It just definitely accentuates, like, that is a tiny man. He's very small waist. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's still really great. I really enjoyed it. I'm really interested to see how you feel about the end.
Of Untamed?
Just saying. When you get to the end, I'm interested to see what you think about that. Because it
does
is
go
a
all the
little
way through,
different.
right?
It is a little different from the Danwa. I'm not sure how different it is from the novel because we haven't got to that point in the novel.
Right, yeah.
So.
And it does go to the end, right? To season, like the end of season 3?
It does go to the end. Mm-hmm. It's complete. It is complete in its storytelling. It's just, and it's really interesting because there's, in my opinion, there's stuff. They're both really great for what they are. They both do different things better than the other. Like, I like them both equally for different reasons. Well, mostly equally. I like the animated one a little bit more, just again because it's animated. And that's just what my brain prefers.
I think I'll like it more too, just because I still can't get over the little wiggle when the sword went in the hand. I'm like, it wiggled. It's in a body part. It shouldn't wiggle. Come on now.
There's stuff. There is things about live action that just can't be helped because it's live action, and that's the kind of stuff that I can't judge the live action for because it's like really difficult to do. For example, our favorite scene, the wedding scene, quote unquote, is not a fraction as is cool in the live action, in my opinion. I don't think it's near as cool. It's very different. It's not as powerful, in my opinion, and
it was like my favorite scene
because it's so cool. It's such a cool scene, and like because of the animation, it's able to just look really cool. And you know, the live action budget was different, and doing those kind of CG effects is really, really difficult. So
we've all seen Avengers. I mean, so CGI can do anything.
Yes, but that's with a Disney Marvel Studios budget, not a Chinese television show budget. They're very different.
Yeah, definitely. I'm still excited to watch it.
Oh, it's still fantastic, and there are scenes in the live action that are from the book that you don't get in the anime. So you do. I figure
there's got to be, right? Because there's like almost twice the episodes, and they're double the length. So I was like, I figured there's got to be a lot more info, which is another reason why I'm really excited to watch it, too. And I just felt like I started, and then vacation happened, so that kind of threw it all off. But now, like, I'll get back into things, and I'll start reading, I'll start watching the episodes, and an hour won't be enough. I'll have to start taking notes. Just so that way, like, as I jump ahead, I'm like, okay, we'll talk about this. And then when I run out, I'll just cross out, okay, we hit that point, I'll save these for next time.
There you go. Yeah, for sure. I think that's actually a really good way to, like, remember what you want to talk about. In fact, it's really funny. Well, it's not funny. I get it now, but, like, when I first started getting into this genre, which is called danmei, which is just Chinese BL, I would watch these like danmei TikTokers who would have like the books, and they would have like tons of tabs in them, like little sticky note tabs, and I'd be like, do you just mark all your favorite parts or things you want to talk about, or like how do you like what? And I get it now, because it's like they're basically doing an annotation of, they're like studying the book as they read it. So they're physically putting tabs in there, and they're like making notes, their own annotated versions and their thoughts on particular things. And I didn't really get it until I had also read it myself, and I also started doing more TikToks myself, and I was like, I see.
Yeah. Well, if you like, because when you read it and you just enjoy it and you're just going through it, it's one thing. But when you're trying to recall certain events or certain things throughout as you're wanting to make a TikTok or we talk about it, it's a lot harder. You'll recall certain things. It's going to be kind of chaotic, out of order. And then there's going to be a lot of things that you don't think about at all.
Yeah.
And because it's like, I know when we talked about it last time, there was a lot that we both talked about, and then there were little pieces that you would bring up that like I didn't really think about, but then once you mention it, it's like, it sparks a whole new conversation, whole new memory.
Like, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I will say there is some stuff in the novel that is going to make some stuff in the anime make way more sense. Because there were a couple parts that I got a little lost at one part, and I was like, you know what, it's fine, I'm just gonna accept it for what it is. It's fine, because it's so good, I don't care. But it's definitely explained better in the book, which makes sense because that's the source material.
Yeah, a lot of better context and more details.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm just interested in general. I'm just excited for you to read it and for us to talk about it. Yay! I'm just excited for us to talk about this forever.
Right, we'll have a lot to talk about because aside from me watching Untamed and with how long the episodes are and how many there are, it'll take me a bit to get through that. And then as I rewatch the anime, I'm sure I'll pick up on other little things that I didn't pick up on before. Maybe that'll bring up some new stuff. And then reading the book, and Volume 3 is about to come out soon. And then after that, you've got Volume 4 that's going to come. So, and it'll take a while to get through all that.
Right. I know what that is. That's me.
Did you hear something?
I did.
That came through on your side?
It did. Even though I have your stream, muted, like,
and it still came through
in the tab. So I don't know. I heard it through my weird. Anyway, hi Snake over at Dupree's chat.
That's so crazy. I wonder why it came through.
I don't know. It's pretty wild.
It's crazy because I mean Discord. It shouldn't. I wouldn't think it would pick up my desktop audio.
Yeah, it shouldn't. Weird. I don't know. It's weird. But again, we digress. We could talk about MDZS all night. Easy. I could. Yeah. But I did want to touch. I just want to touch on the one anime I have managed to start for the summer season, which is Kamikuzu Idol, also known as Phantom of the Idol. It's on High Dive. So I did have to get a whole new streaming service to watch it. That's what I get for watching general trailers on YouTube and not just watching stuff that's like on Crunchyroll. My bad. But I was like, oh, that looks so fun. And then I had to look up where to watch it. And I was like, dang it. It's on a streaming service I don't have. Poopy. So I have it now. But it's pretty fun so far. It's about a male idol. He's in a duo idol group, and he basically was not drafted. He was scouted because he's got a handsome face, and they're like, "Oh, you would make a really good idol because you're really handsome," and he's like, it sounds like easy money, because he had no idea how much work goes into being an idol. Anyone who knows anything about idol life in any of those Asian countries, it's a lot of work. It's, you have to go to dance practice, you have to go to singing practice, you have to learn songs, you have to go pass out flyers, you have to go to meet and greets, and put out concerts, and then you have to do recording. Like, it's a lot of work. And he was thinking it was gonna be easy money, and it's not. He finds out it's not easy money, and he's like, oh, I hate this. And they're at a show one day, and they put on their show, and he's like sitting out in the hall after his boss has been like, you've got to do something about your personality because it's basically garbage.
Jeez.
And he's like, so much effort.
Like,
so,
well, screw you too.
Yeah, so he's hanging out in the hall, and like he sees this girl sitting next to him, and she's like, oh my gosh, you could see me? And he's like, yeah. And like his partner, his duo partner, comes around the corner and talks to him, doesn't see the girl, and he's like, that's weird, how come I can see you but he can't? So it turns out she's a ghost of an idol that passed away like a year ago in a car accident. And she's like so sad because she misses being an idol, and she like hasn't moved on to the next life. She's not quite sure why, other than the fact that she is sad because she can't be an idol anymore. So she just hangs out at idol venues and watches events as a ghost, and he's the first person to be able to see her. So she's like, oh my gosh, you should let me take over your body and perform as you. And he's like, okay.
Like, I guess.
I mean, you'd be the one doing the work, not me. So, all right. So it becomes this like thing where she's like, yeah, I'm gonna take over his body just when he's like doing idol things because I miss being an idol. And over the first few episodes, it does progress into, she's like, she's like, I'd rather see you become the best idol that you can be. So she basically wants to help him train up to be a good idol. And he does, like, realize, he's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, because you seemed like you really loved that. And people seem to really love it when you're actually nice to them and give a crap and, like, are actually an idol to them. So, yeah, I want to be the best idol I could be. So that's what it's turned into. So that's only 4 episodes in. The 5th episode comes out on Friday. But so far it's pretty fun. I will be devastated because they can't be together. So I'm really hoping that they don't go that route.
Maybe he can die and become a ghost.
Maybe he can die too. It's fine.
No, he doesn't need to be alive. He can die and they can spend forever watching idols.
One of the really funny things so far, though, is he does have, even before he had these moments where he was like taken over, before he did have some really hardcore fans that were like, we love him and he's amazing, and people are like, are you sure? Have you looked? He's like, okay. So like when he does like start doing idol like stuff, they're just like,
they're like, oh my god,
is this real or did we just have a mass hallucination? So you also follow like this trio of groupies that like go to all of his events, and they're really fun too. But because they're just like, we don't know day to day whether he's gonna be like grumpy stoic him or if he's gonna just like put all of his effort in and be amazing and make eye contact, and because obviously that's when she takes him over, so it's like they're like 2 different people obviously. And so people are just like, he's so unpredictable, we just don't know whatever he's ever gonna do.
He's the mystery, no one can handle it.
But so it is really fun so far. But I'm probably, I don't know, it's hard. Like I said, I don't want to like be like, you should go watch this one, because you'd have to go get a new streaming service to do it. So I'm not gonna push that one on you to go watch just because. But if you do decide you want to give it a try, I'm more than happy to hook you up. But so that's the only one I've managed to start. There was other things for the season that I was interested in starting. I think I wrote some down. Yeah. I don't remember what any of these are about, though. Oh, U-Deco. That one was one I was interested in. It's got a really, really interesting art style, but it's really, really vibrant in color, so I really wanted to check that one out. But I think that one's on Crunchyroll. I'll have to look. But
what's it called?
U-Deco, and it's D-E-C-O. But I don't know. There's actually a lot of stuff I was interested in for the season.
And this is all from when you were watching
when I did those trailers. Yeah, I watched all those trailers. Bakumatsu Bad Boys was one I was interested in. I think that one's on Crunchyroll. I was interested in Lucifer and Biscuit Hammer just because of the title. I have no idea what it's about. But it's called Lucifer and Biscuit Hammer.
Yeah, the title sounds good. You can't go wrong with that.
But in other exciting anime news, and this is another straight up BL, but it's a really wholesome one. I'm gonna recommend it to anyone. I would recommend this to anyone, even if you don't watch BL. So, world, here comes. If you haven't watched Sasaki and Miyano, It's on Crunchyroll, finally. Because it was originally on Funimation, and when they merged, I had to wait for it. They didn't bring it over at the beginning of the merge. I had to wait. And I was like, but it's really cute. It is a high school romance. It's a slow burn, but it's so sweet and adorable and wholesome. But a reason I mention it today is because yesterday we got the new OVA episode, which is original video animation, for anyone who doesn't know what OVA stands for. Basically, I was hoping it would be something super extra special, but it was just like, here's another episode. It like had the same opening and closing, and it felt just like another episode. But you know what? More content is better than no content, so I'll take it.
How many, is it like a full season that's loaded?
It's 13 episodes, but it's like, it's the whole thing that I don't know if it's gonna go any further, just because the manga hasn't gone further than that yet. Like, volume 6 comes out next month, so I'll know whether or not it goes, you know what, I could probably just check the internet. Let's see.
I could, if you want to send me the name, I could watch that. Or at least check it out anyways.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I will say, at first, I thought I wasn't sure how I felt about the dub. I felt like everyone was really great except for the main, like, the second lead boy. I was like, oh, I'm not sure how I feel about your voice, but it grew on me. It was just kind of jarring because I read the manga first, so I wasn't sure what kind of voice to even expect.
Yeah, and you get some kind of idea. If it's not exact, it's like, I don't know.
It just didn't sound like what I expected it to sound like in my head. Yeah. I was like, and I kept hearing clips on like TikTok, and I'd be like, are these joke clips or is this real? Is this how he sounds?
Actual audio?
Yeah, it sounds really weird to begin with. Okay, it looks like the manga is still ongoing in Japan. It's up to 9 volumes so far, and it's still going. So it does look like we'll probably get another season, but they're probably waiting for more to be out. Because season 1 is basically like the first 5 volumes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll write more and then release it.
Yeah, I think that's what they're, because that's what a lot of anime have been doing the last few years. Rather than giving us filler, they'll like give us a season's worth, and then they wait for another season's worth chunk before they release more. For example, the series that I'm wearing the shirt for right now is from my bicycle anime, Yowamushi Pedal. I have to wait like several years in between seasons for this show. I'm getting a new season this fall, but the last season that came out was like 2.5 years ago, I think.
How come it took so long?
Because it just waits, because these are actually full seasons. They're usually like 20 something episode seasons. And they don't have any filler. And so they've just been putting out chunks as they have it from the manga, because the manga is still ongoing, even though it's been coming out for a long time now. And honestly, I'm okay with waiting years as long as I am getting like not filler. Like as long as I'm getting accurate content, then I'm pretty good with waiting. I used to be really impatient just because it was a lot harder to access anime and manga, but now that it's easier, it's like, oh, I can watch these other like 50 shows while I'm waiting for the next season of this one.
So much more.
Because like back in the day when I would wait like 3 or 4 months in between volumes of DVDs or VHS, because I originally started getting it on VHS back in the day, we'd only get 3 or 4 episodes, and then we'd have to wait another like anywhere from 3 to 6 months for the next VHS or DVD to come out. So I'm pretty because I'm so used to waiting, I'm pretty chill about waiting for new seasons. Because I'm like, hey, at least I'm getting a whole season. I used to have to wait months for just a couple of episodes. Like, it's fine.
That would drive me insane. Like, just give me the full season.
But yeah. But yeah, I'll send you the name for Sasaki and Miyano. It's totally different from like the one I just had you watch, but it's still really good. It's just a fun little, it might be an easy one for you to watch the dub of in the background while like doing other stuff during the day, like working and stuff. It's just a fun one.
Yeah, if it's got the dub, then that'll make it super easy to watch.
Yeah, it does have the dub. I actually watched the dub first. I was like, I'm going to do the sub first and then watch the dub. And I was like, no, I feel like I need to watch the dub first. Because if I watched the subtitled one first, I would probably judge the dub too harshly. So I was like, yeah. I'm going to watch the weird voiced kid now.
Right. Watch the lesser version first, because once you watch the sub, everything else is just going to be like, I don't want to watch this. I'll go
like I said, his voice didn't feel suitable, in my opinion, to begin with, but as I continued to watch it, I felt like it fit him, and I actually really like the dub now. Like I was like, okay, yeah. That was
interesting.
Everyone was really good. He did took me a moment to be like, is this for real? Is this the voice that we've chosen for real? Okay. All right, we're committed to this voice. All right. But yeah, so that's really fun. It's an easy watch, but I don't know, I like it, but I understand it's not for everyone.
Should be for everybody.
It should be. I am of the opinion it should be for everyone, because it's just so dang wholesome and cute. But yeah, I am excited to, full circle. I'm excited to get more Spy Family in the fall. I did start collecting the manga, so I am caught up on the manga as far as purchases are concerned. I need to catch up reading. I'm on volume 4, which is actually where it becomes new content for me, because season 1 is only the first 3 volumes of the manga. So
how many manga are there?
There's 7 out so far. I'm not sure how long it is in Japan. Let's see if it's still coming out. Let's see. Wow, just tell me. Why are none of my usual... Here we go. Spy Family manga. Okay, there's 9 volumes out in Japan so far, and it's still going. So.
Okay.
Just like Sasaki.
Well, that's good. Hopefully, it will get a bit more seasons and content then.
For sure. But yeah, I think stuff is gonna start getting more. I don't know if stuff's gonna get more intense. I haven't started reading that part yet, but I was like, is it gonna get more intense? I don't know. But I
feel like they're working up to it.
I did think closer. The penguin episode was actually really great. Just because, like,
that was the most interesting out of the last 3.
It was really, I thought the dodgeball episode was really funny, as far as, like, I like how they built it up, like, oh my gosh, is she gonna win? Just to totally be completely destroyed. Like,
I'm gonna chuck it to the ground and go nowhere.
Never mind, she sucks.
I was just kidding. No talk, no bark.
Oh, and then I did think it was funny that, like, she did earn a star from, like, saving that kid that just happened to be drowning in the pool. Like,
yeah, I was really hoping that was gonna be like the moment she, like,
the reveal episode, like when she reveals her power.
Yeah, I was so hopeful. But that was before I knew that it was only a half season.
You're like, it's gotta be revealed now. It's like the second to last episode.
Yeah. Nope. I was like, if they don't do it now, they're not going to be able to. I'm like, they have to do it.
Nope. Oh, man. And poor Twilight. He's, like, so exhausted in that last episode.
I know, he was just, like, shaking.
Like,
and he's
so
like,
tired. I did like how she's like, we have a mission. He's like, no. Frickin' tired. I need a break. And she's like, this is important. He's like, I don't care.
Like, you deal with it.
I careth not. I'm tired. Oh, man. But yeah, good stuff. I am enjoying that series a lot. I have a bunch of stuff on Netflix that I've put into my, my watch list to eventually see, but I'm gonna go scope it out really quick.
Eventually get to one day.
Speaking of anime on Netflix, because I saw over in your chat. Oh yeah, I was interested in The Great Pretender. Heard good things about that one. And then Violet Evergarden, I've heard nothing but good things about that. I need to try that one. I hear that one's really emotional though. But speaking of anime that's on Netflix, you should try Gurren Lagann. It's wild.
You have to send me the name so I could look it up.
Okay, I will try to remember to send you that one with the other one. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for that one.
The name sounds cool.
It's pretty cool. It's like, I don't even really know what to call it other than wild. It's considered sci-fi post-apocalyptic with like giant robots. I did see the Village DLC, Snake. I'm really excited about that. I'm really stoked. I will definitely be getting that. And I'll be replaying the whole thing in third person. For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, Resident Evil Village is getting DLC finally. Woo! It's gonna be good. I'm stoked. Alright, cool. I think we touched on everything we wanted to touch on tonight and a little bit more, as usual.
Yeah, I think so. And we'll have more because I'll be further along in anime and books and things like that. And if you send me the other two, I can watch the one, and since you've already seen that, and that'll give us something to talk about too.
Our next episode will be on the 10th. And because of my weird schedule, I think what I'll do is I'm gonna do regular stream, and then I'll finish my stream with this. So we'll talk about transitioning from me streaming into this, but I still plan to do it even though my schedule is weird. It'll just be the last thing I do for the night because I have to like try and go to bed early for 2 weeks, which I'm not excited about.
Like, I want to go.
Like,
yeah,
no.
And if you need to do it sooner, just let me know. We can talk about it. Like if you need to do it earlier than the 10.
10 is fine. It's just like I'm planning to start stream at like 5 o'clock. So the plan is to stream like 5 till. It was gonna be 5 to 10, but that night, I mean, we could do like. We could meet at 9.
We can do 9 to 10 if you want.
Yeah,
or you
and
can
then
still go to bed at normal.
Yeah, that sounds good. We'll talk about it. Anyway, we'll talk about it later. Not right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, I am interested to see. I'm really interested in all the Rose information that we're gonna get, Snake. I'm so stoked. But guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight while we just gabbed and chatted. Like, we don't have a lot of structure, but we try. I think we have a lot of fun. Talking about anime and gaming. And speaking of gaming, Stray is really fun. I had a really good time. I'm going to be playing it again on Friday for anyone who missed it. So
I will be there.
It's a short game, which is why we can play it on Friday and play other things. So structure isn't needed in my opinion. Exactly. It just needs to be interesting.
I think as long as we have like the bullet points of things to talk about, then
which
we're good.
I had, so we're good. All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much again for joining me for episode 10. We're in the double digits now. Let's go.
It was fun.
I will send you the titles of those shows, And then for those of you sticking around, I'm not sure what we're gonna do with the rest of our night, but we're gonna find out.